We got the cheapest iPhone in the lineup, the iPhone SE, well, the cheapest new iPhone in the lineup. And some people might argue, why does that even exist in the lineup anymore? And it's going to face off against the highest priced iPhone 16 Pro Max in this video. And by the end, you're going to see how much a difference there is between Apple's lowest entry priced iPhone against their highest end version. This should be interesting. Let's find out. So let's go ahead and begin with a boot up test, and look at that thinness difference in 3, 2, and go. And by the way, if you really like the classic iPhone SE design here from like the iPhone 6 days, you better cop one now because it's not going to be around very long. We probably have a few more months left of them clearing out the stock of this one before the next version of the SE does come, which should be pretty exciting. It should be getting a major overhaul, but in a shocking turn of events, this phone booted up significantly faster here than my iPhone 16 Pro Max. Kind of strange. However, keep in mind this has the A15 Bionic chipset on board with 4 gigabytes of RAM. And then this one over here does have the Apple A18 Pro Chip with 8 gigabytes of RAM. And look at that screen size difference. It is laughably different. All right, and when it comes to the biometrics between both of these products here, this one is a pretty easy experience as well. You have the Touch ID, the last one in the screen there. It does have huge bezels though, which is because of that classic look. But you can even unlock this like this. You don't even have to look at this thing and you could be in the product. So I actually found this easier to unlock. However, I don't find it as secure because someone could just take your finger. But over here, this one is definitely faster, more convenient, and definitely much nicer. So any iPhone with Face ID is going to be a little bit nicer of an experience, I feel like. However, a Touch ID can, I would say, be a little bit speedier because you literally don't even have to look at the phone and it goes right in. So Touch ID, I'm going to say on the speed is still a little bit faster. All right, guys, so everything is closed out for both phones. You can see right there, we are on iOS 18.0.1 for both, and let's see how well the iPhone SE performs by comparison. So you've seen in the base calendar, of course, there's going to be basically zero difference. Now, pressing the home button does take a longer time to come home. So while Touch ID, because you don't have to look at it, potentially can get you in the phone faster, actually coming back to the home screen is a little slower, as that gesture is just quicker. So let's go into calculator, and you can see, I think the iPhone 16 Pro Max had that, but see, funny enough, you still get these same features here. You get the math notes, you get the scientific calculator, you get your history over there, so it's all there. But coming back home is faster on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. You've seen that was a little quicker on the right, but not substantially. So while much bigger display, you can still get the same information on the lowest end option here. Let's go into Apple News, and you'll see that was faster on the right. And of course, reading content is going to be substantially nicer on the iPhone 16 Pro Max. If we go over here, you'll see we're already talking about the 17. The iPhone hasn't even been out more than a month. Well, actually today would be marking that month point. But you can see scrolling, when you go slow, it's hard to tell the difference. Really is. I mean, of course, the screen size is massive, but generally, like what you can do on the phone, if you like a little tiny one-hander, the SE is decent. However, it has pretty bad battery life by comparison. Let's go into App Store, and you'll see right here that was faster on the right, but not by an impressive amount. We'll go into games. That's faster on the right. But what really is impressive, if you come from a smaller phone like an SE, is the experience of a larger screen. However, keep in mind that you still can't split screen. I'm not giving the SE praise though, but I'm just saying you can't split screen. So you can still kind of do the same thing, just more in a miniature format. Let me see if we're on True Tone. That screen looks a little yellow. Yeah, we were. I figured that. Let's go over here into the X now, and we'll see what happens. That was faster on the right. So we're seeing a little bit of a snappier experience on the right. But the SE is doing stellar, I would say, for its year. Let's go into Instagram, and we'll see what happens here. Again, faster on the right. Oxygen OS 15, beautiful. Let's go over here to my home page. We'll go over here, and you'll see, again, bigger, but way faster. No. So I think the SE, the upcoming version that's going to get the newer features, is going to be a really nice addition. If you want to have like a lower price point but a bigger iPhone, you probably should wait it out for the next SE. All right, so let's go into Amazon here, and you'll see faster on the right, but not by a huge margin. However, I think this like swipe out gesture will make the iPhone 16 Pro Max feel faster throughout the day. Let's go over here, trending. But I'm impressed with the SE for being a couple years old now. I think it's about 3 years old now, around there. I'm impressed how well this still performs. This phone is performing like a modern day phone still. So I'm not actually too upset with its performance. It's just kind of like not a great value for the money, because you can get some used iPhones with the newer experience. This phone doesn't feel like it's worth like $450 though, but definitely it's not no slowpoke. Let's get up out of here and let's go into Groupon, and you'll see that was quicker. I think that was quicker on the right. Let's go ahead and go to sale, and we'll see. Overall, not a big difference to speak of. Now let's go into Best Buy on both, and you could see that was faster for the SE, and we'll swipe out of there. Let's go into Jetpack Joyride, and you could see this one loading first. So I think the games are going to pull ahead for the 16 Pro Max, and definitely did so on this test. Let's swipe up out of here. I was trying to swipe like it has gesture-based OS. I'm so used to that. Let's go into Subway Surfers, and you could see pulling way ahead there on the right, already playing the game. So I think gaming, not only way larger screen, longer battery life, faster. Gaming, again though, I could actually still enjoy a little casual game on the SE, no prob. But definitely this is a much smaller experience, not going to be quite the same. So if you did a lot of this, I would definitely recommend going to the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Let's go into Real Racing now and see which one can pull ahead in this test. So they both have the game mode triggered, and the iPhone 16 Pro Max pulling in the lead. And here comes the iPhone SE, just a little bit behind, a couple of pop-ups. So yeah, we did have the iPhone 16 Pro Max winning that one out. And we'll go over here to Free Fire, and my muscle memory keeps doing that swipe, even though I'm not able to do that on the left. But I'm so used to this. Second time I did that. 3 times you're out, Nick, bro. 3 strikes, you're out of here. Can't keep making those mistakes. Over here, you see, we do have ourselves a win on the right here. So yeah, I gotta say, I actually still like, personally, I still like the SE for casual, like not distracting. Let me just use this phone and not be irritated by my constant, use of a phone. Like if you want to like a not distracting phone, or you want to set it up kind of like a dumb iPhone, not that the SE is dumb, it's definitely not. It could do all the stuff you need. But if you want to set it up in a way that's minimal, I really like this phone. And the corners are easier to reach too. Even maybe easier than sometimes in the 13 mini. So you've seen PUBG went to the right, and we'll go into Geekbench 6. And you could see that loaded first on the left, 18.1. The clock speed is about 1 gigahertz faster on the right, and double the RAM. But you can see if we go over here to 3D Mark, that was faster on the right. Speed Test Net, faster on the right. And I got to switch this app out, hold on. And we'll take it over here to iMovie. And we were actually going into a project there. So let me close these out here. And we'll just launch that again just to make sure. 3, 2, go. Yeah, the iPhone 16 Pro Max can launch that quicker. So at the end of the day, I feel like it was only like half a second on a lot of these apps. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is the winner, clearly. It loaded the games. Most of the apps loaded faster. The gesture experience allows you to fly between apps faster than clicking the physical home button. However, the SE didn't really choke up. It didn't lag really, no crashes. Pretty impressive still for the smaller iPhone. It's still a really rock solid performer for what it is. It really is. You don't need like a ton of RAM for a little phone like that. And having an A15 in there is still plenty fast. So good job on that one, but the 16 Pro Max takes the W. All right, so let's go ahead and hop back through the apps. This is where the 4 gigs of RAM typically struggles. And you could see pressing that home button makes this experience feel slower. And we'll go here. It looks like it's pausing some of them. So here goes a reload, a total reload. And you see it came back to life, but it was reloading. And you can see Groupon with a full reload, eBay's holding. So it's kind of weird. YouTube with a reload. Amazon. Seemed like that was reloading too. And X, see pause, little twitch on reloading the feed. A couple of these base apps were still open. News refreshing the feed. So yeah, this is where you're just not going to see the same experience on both. So let me go over here to clock, and we'll go over here to calendar. So not horrible. I mean, probably not going to affect you too much, but still, I would say decent. Decent RAM management, but you can't hold a ton of applications. You just can't do it with the iPhone SE's 4 gigs of RAM or any iPhone that has 4 gigs of RAM at this point. And this will not support Apple Intelligence, so it definitely feels like a lighter version of the software going forward, as does every iPhone that doesn't support Apple Intelligence. You're just going to see how the promotion, the gesture experience, like look at this. I mean, it's just like night and day. So this area, when you're flying between apps, you're hopping between them, this is the area where I would say that the iPhone 16 Pro Max is just going to absolutely crush the iPhone SE, or it's not just the SE, it's the 13, the 13 Pro. Well, not really the Pro, but definitely this is where it's going to crush some of these older iPhones. Is that RAM management, that gesture experience. If you haven't had a gesture iPhone yet, most of you have, but if you're still rocking that, this thing is going to be a massive increase in RAM management and multitasking between different apps, switching between different apps. And our final scores, which I did before making this video, is a little bit better there for the iPhone 16 Pro Max, especially in the multi-core. But the single core, not like crazy better, but definitely 1,000 points better. I do think that the iPhone SE, you can see that single core is pretty respectable. It can handle your day-to-day single core tasks, no problem. So the iPhone 16 Pro Max, just a much higher score though, so definitely the winner. If we go over here to the 3D Mark and we go to my results, you'll see this is what you can produce on 3D Mark, or for benchmarks, you're going to get around 10 FPS on gaming, and over here around 27. So a substantial update for things like graphics, playing those games. You will definitely see my SE getting a little bit bogged down with some heavier things. It's not going to have as smooth of a performance as something like this. And that back so thin is going to definitely heat up. You're going to feel that thing toasting your fingers if you don't have a nice thick case on there. You'll see 4572, and then scoring better than 90% of devices on the market. Over here, we're only scoring better than 33. So there is literally like 77% of other devices out there faster than the SE. So in terms of graphics, that's the graphic test. So the SE is no phone to pick for your boss gaming experience on a phone, mobile. But at the same time, guess what? It can still run most of the games, and it can do it okay for a little while, though it will slow down after heavier, longer, extended sessions. All right, so let's go ahead and go to yahoo.com. We'll just see how fast we can do this, and both of them did a fantastic job there. And I'm just going to go and click some random articles here. So let's just click some random articles, and you could see a much bigger reading experience on the right, less scrolling because there's more screen space. But generally, the pinch to zoom, the Safari experience, pretty similar in performance. Last thing I want to do is launch the cameras. Of course, there's nowhere for a capture button over there. It's too thin. Over here, we have a camera capture button, but we're going to launch them like the old classic way. 3, 2, and go. You can see, I think that was a 16 Pro Max. And if I go over here, let's go ahead and make sure that's closed out. We'll do it again. 3, 2, and go. And if we go ahead and click the photo, pretty similar. You do have a lot more zooming here. On the SE, you do this older pinch in like this. That's how you zoom on this phone. You could also take a photo with these volume rockers up and down. So yeah, I would say the iPhone launches into the camera and not really different in the shutter speed, pretty close there. But the SE, man, overall, I would say I'm pretty impressed with its performance. For what it is, it's still a very nice little basic classic old iPhone. It still performs well. It's not like over the top in terms of performance, but it's not letting me down. It's not a disappointment. The iPhone 16 Pro Max is mind-blowing fast, though, by comparison. So clearly not fair there, but I wanted to do this for fun to showcase to you how much of a difference there is between spending 3 times the cost on a 16 Pro Max. And it probably isn't 3 times faster. I would say it's about 2 times faster. But still, it has a lot of other things that do make it 3 times better. I mean, you have one camera there, 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 times better already. Then you have like 3 times the battery life. So that's better already. So I think it is worth the cost over this phone. But just wanted to do this one to showcase that for fun. Let me know your guys' thoughts on the basic iPhone SE. Are you ready for an upgrade? Do you think it still performs well? Are you going to miss this classic design? Are you just ready for that thing to get up on out of here? Let me know in the comments. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you all in the next episode. Nick here. Be sure to be well. And peace.